All right, I'm going to work this little wonky piece. Let's see. Four and 3/8. Yeah. I won't be able to preserve much of the width. It's almost 2 inches. But anyway, I think this is high grade stuff just by looking at it. The previous owner had trouble with it. It looks like this is all percussion. It's all percussion work with a bopper. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Pretty wonky. Okay. There's a lot of possibilities for this one. A lot of different types I could be making from this one. But I'm just going to get the leaf shape first. Leaf shaped preform made from it. And we'll go from there. Now, I was thinking the other day that maybe I should make some wonky edge blades. Blades that are not perfectly straight. This might be a good candidate for that. We'll see. You know, I could make it so that the blade is all wonky, but thin down. That might be interesting to demonstrate. Thin it down, but don't make it straight. Ooh, it looks like high-grade stuff. Nice. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. And I can't tell if it's a heat treat or not. It might be. Certainly feels that way. Certainly feels and kind of looks like a heat treat. Although there is some raw stone that does look this good. You know, there is some raw stuff that does do that. It does have that glossy or waxy look to it. Ouch. Yeah, it probably is. I don't know. I was going to say probably is raw, but I still don't know, because sometimes with low amount of heat, it still remains fairly tough. It feels kind of tough right now. I had to hit that really, really hard. Yeah, we'll see. It's consistent. I don't feel any issues. Like sometimes I'll feel like it's really tough in a certain spot. Haven't felt that yet. Might be too soon to tell, but it feels pretty consistent. I'm going to leave the edge kind of wonky for now. If I'm not able to, then I'll straighten it. But if I can thin it down without straightening, I'll do that just so it'll be an interesting video. For me, anyway. I could make a wonky Cornertang, although I crushed it up here. Not good. Not good to be crushing it like that. So I think I'm going to regularize it just to get rid of a lot of these step fractures and crushings. Switch to a smaller percussion flaker just to get it regularized. And then I might go back to the larger flaker to remove some more bold flakes. Yeah. Come on. I know you're not that tough. Stop acting like you're so tough. Yeah, there you go. You're steppy though. You're steppy. Kinda, sorta. Yeah, kinda, sorta steppy. Which means these are hard to thin down without having a lot of step fractures. We'll see. I'm going to have to be very strategic. Very careful about which places I target first and all that. Yikes. I got way too much bulk in here. Yeah, I got to be careful. Ouch. Yeah, I knew it. Working on the tip. I just messed it up a little bit. Yeah, I need to thin it down with percussion because pressure is going to be too difficult. But at some point, I got to stop risking it and thin the tip with pressure. Ouch, come on. I don't like those strikes where nothing happens because a lot of times there's incipient fractures in that stuff. And they'll rear their ugly heads. Those little incipient fractures. How do they raise their ugly heads? Well, they'll mess you up by causing big cracks on the edge. Those cracks, those small ones, will become big cracks. Come on. You were traveling just fine a little while ago. Don't make me get the pressure flicker out too soon. I'll lose too much of the edge. There you go. I do want to get the pressure flicker out here in a minute to regularize it, but if I take too much of the edge off, I won't have a lot of edge to run these good percussion flakes. All right. I still need some big percussion flakes, so gotta make sure I have a clean, fresh surface on here. Well ground edges. So I'm going to try to remove some bulk. Oh yes. Try is the key word here. And then once I get a lot of that bulk out of there, I'm going to regularize the edges, see where I am, and then do thinning passes. This is, this is a thinning pass as well, but it's more like a bulk removal pass. I mean, it'll cut at this thickness. It's just too bulky for me. All right. Which way is the edge going on this? I want to keep the edge going in the same way, because if I'm not going to straighten it, that means I got to go with the flow. See that? That probably was the result of an incipient crack in there somewhere. No, not yet. That hurt, that little bite taken out. I might just leave the bite in there because it's on the top side of this. It's going to be a Cornertang, yeah. All right, that's better. I can fix it with pressure. So usually you see me do this stuff on straight edges to create a straight piece, but I'm kind of going with the flow, especially down here. That's an intentional step here, believe it or not. All right, here we go. I'm hoping that there we go. Intentional because I don't want it to go too far. It's wonky, right? It's not exactly straight, so I can't be sending flakes all the way on a wonky piece because it'll dig in a weird way. I don't know how else to explain it. But if I limit the digging to just halfway, I can get it from the other side and still preserve that wonkiness. If everything goes right. That didn't go far enough. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's dicey. Ouch. Didn't do it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to regularize it. It's really erratic right now, but it'll smoothen out here in a little while. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to go with this? Well, wherever it is I want to go, I don't want to install any step fractures. And I don't want to make the edge too thin because now I still have some percussion flakes I want to do to thin out the blade. If I were to straighten this out, I would lose a lot of width. So I think a lot of these that were made this way were made because they don't want to lose the width. And a lot of points that are wonky that go with the flow seem to be following the contour of an original spall. Like you hit a spall off a big chunk of rock, and it's kind of lopsided or whatever. Instead of straightening it out, you just go with the flow to preserve material. This one was not a spall. This is a rework, but you can imagine if it was a spall, that the same tactic applies, or the same strategy applies to the spall and to the wonky preform or wonky biface. Yeah, I crushed it here earlier, so I got to be careful in that spot. I want to be able to run some flakes to thin it down. I don't have to on the back side, but that's just way too bulky for me here. So I need to run some flakes in from somewhere. It's going to be difficult to run flakes from this side, but I can run something from here probably. But I got to be careful where I'm going with this, with the pressure flaking. If I mess up, it removes too much of the edge. Why do I want it thin? Because thin cuts better. These are cutting tools. They're not display items. Back in the day, they were meant for cutting. So they got to be able to cut. And cut efficiently would be best. So they got to be thin, on the thin side. Yeah, so I took off lumps there. Now I got to do the same thing on the other side without messing it up. Yeah. But braiding will take care of a lot of that as far as the thin areas. But I'll take it back with the pressure flaker anyway. Just keeping in mind that I don't want to lose too much of the edge. Until the final sharpening stage, then I don't worry about losing the edge because I just want to get it nice and sharp. But for now, I got to make sure I don't lose too much of the edge. Okay. Yeah, I do need to abrade for this final pass. We got one final pass on this side with percussion, and then before I sharpen it with pressure, one more pass with percussion on this side, although it probably doesn't need much, just a couple hits. So I want to get rid of that step there. That step will interfere with cutting. It's just too bulky. Although it's going to make it kind of narrow. Oh well. Now, a big percussion flaker or a small one? Probably a small one is good enough. Yeah, it looks all right. Not perfect, but it's okay. That one, oh, just short of that step fracture. Come on. Let's see if we can make it pretty. Do it. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose. It's about the best that I'm going to get. About the best I can expect. Yeah. It got thinner. Yep. That's what I wanted. A little bit thinner. So that's enough of a... Oh, one more. There's enough percussion on that. I don't have to do any more. Except for that one little flake there. Everything else is pretty thin. I got to get rid of that step fracture just for looks. It looks better. And then I got to get rid of this bulk here on the very edge. That's not going to be a good cutting edge if I leave it like that. It is going to straighten it out slightly when I get rid of that. But oh well. Oh yeah, okay. Neighbors are rowdy. Or did it step fracture? Yeah, a little bit. It's not behaving. Supposed to behave. You're supposed to behave. You're not supposed to do that. I might be able to get it with pressure, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? It might work. I could do a lot of this with percussion, but it's slower than pressure because I gotta check every strike. With pressure, I can see what I'm doing. If I do pressure flaking like this, I can see what I'm doing. I don't have to flip it to see, but it's so much easier with percussion. Yeah. Okay. Thinning down the edge on a wonky edge without giving into the temptation of straightening it. It took care of what I wanted, but it took too much of the edge. Dang it. Not supposed to. You're not supposed to take so much of the little edge. I blame it on the pressure. I blame it on the flaker. And yes, I am the flaker because I'm the flint napper, but I'm blaming it on the tool. Yeah. The flint napper happens to be a tool as well, but you know what I mean. I hope. It's funny. Funny how the English language is. Oh, that was a nice flake. Nice little thinning flake there. It's always good to have thinness on the tip of these. Oh, yes. All right, let's see if we can finish this up. Okay. Still need a couple percussion strikes just to make myself feel a little bit better. Famous last words. Edge is still too thick. Oh, dang it. I don't like it when it doesn't release, but I think it's okay. I think we're doing all right. Yeah? Is everything hunky-dory? I don't know. Is it thin enough at the tip? Does it look weird? It looks weird, yeah, as it is, but talking about thinness. Is it thin enough to look right? Because it doesn't do any good to follow the contour of the stone if you're not going to get it thin. Or if I'm not going to get it thin, there's no sense in making it all wonky on purpose. That little bite, I'm going to leave it in there, probably. So I'm going to have to remove too much of the edge to get rid of that. Come on. I'm gonna have to specially. You're gonna make me specially make a platform right there. Yeah, I better do it on the next little piece and tag it on the end of the video. Yeah.